Yeah, so a big question, and one that I will probably come at from a different angle to a lot of people do on this question. And I guess the thing I want you to think about to start with is when you say that there's at-risk groups of loneliness, groups at risk of loneliness, who are you thinking about? Because actually, a lot of what the stats are showing, and I deal in stories, not stats, but what those stats are showing is that actually it's disproportionately impacting young people. We have a lot of conversations about loneliness in older people, and while that is a big issue and is something that actually, like on those slides, it came up about intergenerational approaches, and it is a big issue, but actually what we're seeing is it's not being spoken about amongst young people. So I wanted to start this off by kind of starting with a bit of my story. So I am a young person who has experienced loneliness, and it's a topic that a lot of young people find really difficult to talk about because there's so much shame and stigma around it. Young people don't want to say they're lonely because actually their experiences are sometimes different to the loneliness that we talk about. So for me, even before the pandemic, I'd experienced a lot of loneliness, just in the sense that I felt like I didn't belong to a community. There was people around me. I wasn't physically isolated. I had friends. I had people who I spent time with, but actually I still felt lonely. And with that came so much shame, because I thought, how can I be feeling lonely? There's so many people around me. Like, what is this experience? What is going on here? And why am I feeling this way? But actually, through having conversations with my friends, I realized that a lot of us were feeling the same thing. Um, it was worsened at points of transition. So when I moved to university and had to start that whole new community, when I graduated from university, the same thing again, trying to figure out how things worked. But it was always characterized by that thing of there was not a lack of people around me, but actually I still felt lonely. So that was my experience. And actually, the pandemic for me actually made things a lot easier. A lot of my friends are long distance because of the nature of moving around for university and things. We're actually spread across the UK, and some of my best friends who I've met through volunteering in various places across the UK um, live really far away. So we've always communicated via video calls and those different ways of communicating. And suddenly that's what everybody was doing. So that felt normal. And my feelings of loneliness and isolation actually reduced slightly. But I also recognised at the same time that that was not the experience that a lot of young people were having, particularly those who were kind of school age um, and university age. I kind of graduated towards the beginning of the pandemic. So from there, I kind of was like, what is going on here? And had a couple of conversations with young people who were saying, actually, we're not in the spaces that we were in before. Um, Schools aren't open. I'm stuck in the house. I can't go to my youth groups or my youth clubs or the places where I feel like I belong. And so that's where I chose to do something about it. So in March of 2020, I set up Project Hope. And it was a project that was just a group of young people. So I reached out to some young people who were just in my networks. So I put it out on Twitter and said, does anybody want to get involved? I've got this idea, but I'm not sure how we're going to make it happen. And actually, the response was amazing. And so many young people wanted to help others at that point. They wanted that to be their thing that they were part of, and part of that community that was making a difference. So a group of about 20 young people who I led got involved, and we ran sessions for young people who were aged 13 to 25, which were online sessions, and we did all sorts, open mics, games nights, creative writing, you name it, we probably did it at some point. We ran over 90 sessions in the past year for young people, completely led by young people. We have no adults in the team, apart from those of us who are over 18 but under 25. And that's just the way that we've done things all the way through. So we've run all sorts from the sessions, but also we've done awards ceremonies for young people who are making differences in their community, as well as youth-led conferences, so that we can give that platform to young people to talk about the issues they care about. And we've seen an amazing impact from it. And I actually wanted to share a quote from there was some feedback we had from one of our young people who joined our sessions. So when they first joined our sessions, they didn't speak. They kept their camera and their microphone off, and eventually over time started to engage with us. But this was very early on, around the time they'd attended about 16 of our sessions. And this is what they'd said. So The hosts, the hard work, the planning, the commitment. I thank you for making my lockdown easier, for saving my mental health, taking a turn, helping me communicate, make new friends, and most of all, have fun. I've done over 16 sessions now, 16 sessions that have changed my life each evening that I attended. I felt lonely before and disconnected. I felt sad and lost. But since I joined, the hosts and young people have helped me feel happier, made memories that are more positive of lockdown, given me a space to have fun, a place of safety, and I've been able to carry on learning new things, languages, the world, the environment, and more. You may not have 100 people in your youth group, but you've saved me in more than 100 ways. You've given me so much. You are the best host, the best youth space, and I'm so thankful for you. I know one day you'll be taking on the world of youth because you're amazing, and you will not do it by making £100,000, but by making friends, hope, commitment, fun, pride, and a voice. And I think that just captures what we do. And I think that's what I want to end on, is we need to have these conversations because young people don't have that space to have those conversations. And we need to make sure that they're being involved in those and being involved in the solutions to it as well. That's why we've seen the impact, is because young people are driving it.